you've ever been a victim of stalking, you know that it's one of the scariest circumstances that you could ever endure.
And who makes you laugh the hardest?
My boyfriend.
Who's the most beautiful person you know?
My boyfriend.
This is the story of how one young woman's entire future was sadly taken away at the hands of someone who preyed on her, stalked her, and eventually hunted her down to kill her. Welcome to BaasetCrimez. Remember to hit that like, subscribe, and hit that bell. 17-year-old Serenity Hawley and her family were residents of Blacksburg, Virginia. With a population of about 45,000 people, it's a suburban town which is dominated economically and demographically by the presence of Virginia Tech. Growing up in a well-rounded middle-class family, Serenity would make a great life for herself by getting great grades and eventually being accepted into Virginia Tech. But before Serenity would ever step foot on a college campus, she would cross paths with 17-year-old Cronnie Monk Jr. Cronnie was originally from New Haven, Connecticut, but at the time was living with his family in Blacksburg, Virginia. He was your average teenager who participated in sports that included track, boxing.
Hey, Croney.
Cronniqua. He froze up. He froze up. Damn.
Cronnie was also one of the star players on the Blacksburg High School football team. He was active on social media, constantly posting with his teammates and friends all the fun antics that the young kids were doing at the time.
Welcome to Blacksburg.
On the surface, Cronnie was your average teenage boy. But deep down, there was something more dark and sinister that lied within him. According to Cronnie's Facebook, the two would begin a relationship around June of 2021. It is unclear how long the relationship lasted or what even led to the demise of the relationship, but eventually it would fizzle out. And although the two would go on to coexist amicably, that wouldn't last for long. Cronnie felt like he was getting the short end of the stick, and for that, he wanted his ex Serenity back. According to friends and other classmates, Cronnie was growing more and more obsessive over Serenity. She would try to ignore him and go on about her day, but he was constantly posting on social media, trying to get her attention. Cronnie had several TikTok accounts, to which he would post seemingly innocent, harmless things, like dancing, hanging out with his friends, and singing.
I walk in the spot, 30 on me and some chops. All my niggas really rock. Roll, control. Shout my day, or you know how my niggas really roll. But I ain't moving, I'm rolling.
Those pretty faces always made you stand out in the crowd. And someone picked you from the bunch, one glance is all it took. Now it's much too late for me to take a second look. Oh, baby, give me one more chance
To show you that I love you.
Won't you please let me
Back in your heart.
But Cronnie had another TikTok account that was more evil and sinister and would profile his true feelings towards his ex-girlfriend.
She deserves it all. She makes me believe I'm worth something.
According to Serenity's mother, an undisclosed event would occur between the two in the month of September of 2023. This event would lead up to the school establishing a no-contact order between the two. This would infuriate Cronnie, and unfortunately, instead of causing peace and tranquility between the two, it would ultimately lead her to danger. On the morning of November 7th, 2023, even with a no-contact order in place, the two would still manage to meet up, and unfortunately, it would cost Serenity her life. The two would meet in a parking garage where they would get into an argument, and Cronnie would pull out a gun, shoot his ex-girlfriend in the chest, and fatally shoot himself.
Melissa, Jean, well, I'm actually here with Serenity's mother and father, known as Heather and John. First and foremost, we're so sorry for your loss, and thank you so much for joining us live. I'll start with you, Heather. Can you tell me, how are you feeling today?
Just overwhelmed. I feel like I'm in a nightmare that's not, I can't wake up from. My baby's gone, and it's unbelievable.
Today's her 18th birthday, and you told me earlier you were supposed to be celebrating, but instead you were picking out her outfit for her funeral. Can you tell us about how that was like?
Yeah, it wasn't easy. I went into her room and we picked out her dress and her shoes and jewelry, and she had her pair of black Converse there that was her. Right, she wouldn't let us buy her new shoes because she loved those black Converse, and instead she should have been wearing those to the Virginia Tech women's game tonight. That was her birthday present. That's where she was supposed to go. She loved them, and she was just recently accepted into there, and so that was her dream, and now we can't celebrate that. So very hard.
So many dreams to be accomplished, such a long life still yet to be lived. How do you want people to remember her?
She was our sassy, sweet girl. She was so intelligent. And I want them to remember her being happy, not this situation, but being happy and sweet and just full of life.
My last question is, so many people are here, so many people are showing support to you both and your whole family. What do you have to say to the community?
I just want to thank all the communities involved. Not only do we have the community here in Blacksburg that has been unbelievable. I mean, we're here at Your Pile where she worked. I mean, so many people have come by, shared stories, hugs, just thoughts, prayers, everything. Their Tampa community, we live in Tampa. There's such an outpouring of support there. Serenity was only there for a year, and the people that she touched is unbelievable to me, and the people that care. And then our families who are extended all throughout the state of Virginia, that's coming in, that's reaching out. It's just, when you have a tragedy like this, you don't realize how many people are there to help you through it. And what we want Serenity to be remembered for is, this is domestic abuse. This is a domestic violence. It's a real problem, and we're going to dedicate our lives to moving that agenda forward, to helping young women, young men, realize what relationships are supposed to be, and not this pop culture disaster that it currently is.
Well, thank you both so much for joining me. And as you know, this is an ongoing investigation. Police haven't released a lot of information. There are still a lot of unanswered questions, but our hearts and prayers are with Serenity's family.
Given that the teens are both minors and attended the same school, this would leave a lot of their friends and peers conflicted regarding the grief process of both Serenity and Cronnie himself. Some people were grieving Cronnie, some people were grieving Serenity, some kids were grieving both. But take a listen to what Cronnie's dad, Cronnie Monk Sr., had to say regarding the death of his son and his son's ex-girlfriend.
Take this. You are. Oh, man. It's killing me, yo. I don't wish this pain on no fucking body, man.
Although Cronnie Monk Sr. was well within his rights to grieve the loss of his son, some of the wording that he chose to remember his son by did not sit well with a lot of Serenity's friends and family. There was an exchange on Facebook regarding the status of their relationship, to which Cronnie's dad posted that the two were in a relationship. Some of Serenity's friends and family were quick to come to her defense, claiming that the two were not in a relationship and that Cronnie Jr. was in fact an abuser to her and harassing her. She was scared for her life, and all she wanted to do was put that situation behind her and move on with her life. But unfortunately, Cronnie couldn't let her do that. If he couldn't have her, then no one could have her. It's truly disappointing that situations like this continue to happen. Even with the help of law enforcement, there's nothing that they can do to stop the hands of true evil. There's probably no amount of time that will ever cause this pain to go away for both families. Condolences for both Serenity's and Cronnie's family. Although what he did was terrible, it's still extremely unfortunate that two young kids who had so much potential and so much life left in them had everything cut short. Crime family, be safe and be blessed.